Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Quick Picks. It's been a long time coming, of course. We have four individuals drafting the collection, a beautiful assortment collection of whatever we're talking about today. Today we're going to talk about anime. I'm here with my fellas, reigning champ over here, Ryan. We got Tyler over here, you know what I'm saying? Very, two veterans of the game, two OGs. But of course, now I have with me two friends of mine, two close friends of mine, my boy Peter, brother from another in one respect, and one person who I'd like to say, when I first started doing any form of recording, podcasting, you know, television shows or whatever, wanted to start off doing it with this dude, and I could finally say to my right wing, the American Eagle King, my boy Chris. Chris, how you feeling? You're on Quick Picks for the first time. It's been a long time coming for me. How you feeling, man?
Doing good. I'm excited. I think I got some sleepers. I'm ready.
All right. And Peter, of course, like I know me and you, we were going back and forth, especially recently, about recording, be on something together. You know what I mean? Chopping it up. You know, we're chopping it up about anime. You number one draft pick today. What you thinking?
I'm feeling good. I did a quick review last night. It's been a while since I've seen some of these animes. This is my first time being on a podcast, so a little bit nervous, a little jittery, but you know, as long as we end the game off well, what can you say?
Well, of course, Randy, my blood is over here, you know, basically, you know, presiding over everything. But, you know, you have two OGs in the game from the OG Quick Picks. You have Ryan, you have Tyler. I don't even want to ask who go first because, you know, I pop off with one, the next gonna chirp. You know, I know how it go. How y'all going into it? Whichever one first. Ryan.
You first. Talk.
Oh, okay. You know, yeah. Being a chef, you understand some things that, you know, go down in this quick pick selection. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're going to try and take this dub. Okay? Yeah. Yep.
Trying to get that dub, trying to get that quick dub. I already know Tyler's ready for a retort. Now, Tyler, you and Ryan are both, you know, third and fourth pick respectively in the first round, especially due to the fact that, you know, we got some newcomers to the game. Y'all the OGs of the game. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what the fans want. So, you know, being as seasoned as you are, you know, having the selections that you've had over the course of the Quick Picks episodes, how are you feeling going into this time?
I'm good. I feel a bit unprepared for this one, even though this is basically my wheelhouse in some regards. But I think it's just because, like, I don't have the best luck. I understand. So I'm actually nervous because I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know who's gonna pick what. I'm especially nervous with Peter being here because I'm happy to see him here. I don't get to see him very often, but after he done put all the damn cheat codes in my Budokai 2, I don't trust this. I'm not gonna lie, because he knows some shit that I don't know. Chris, I don't know what he's gonna pull out of his bag. He's a wild card. And Ryan has extremely good luck when it comes to the voting. So I'm very unsure of how to. Why are you denying this? Haven't you won multiple championships?
Not again.
This is my interview time. This is my interview time.
I'm sorry.
Why I referenced you. I did not call you into the microphone.
I felt like I got that. I felt like
you felt like saying something. You were taught when you were young not to speak unless spoken.
I felt like somebody took a shot, you know, loaded it, and aimed it my way, and shot fires at it.
You're not even saying words. They're literally just sounds. I don't know what you're doing. The point is, I'm not that prepared, but I'm going to do the best I can, like always. I hope to be a champion one day. I hope it's today. But I'm happy that we got some new blood here. We're going to whoop all of our asses, I have a feeling.
You are the third selection out of the four. As Ryan is champ, of course, he had, you know, you mentioned he might have luck on his side, but the fact still remains he is a champion and he knows how to win. Before we get into this, I do want to mention the fact that when I first did this, when I first did quick picks, it was kind of just going out, basically filming episodes and doing stuff, and we didn't really have much of a I would say like an end goal, a purpose. It was just kind of like we were just shooting the breeze, which I'm perfectly happy with. But we all know at the end of the day, incentive is what drives people. Incentive is what drives, is what drives a competition. And that's what it is at the end of the day. It's a friendly competition between, my closest of peers. We're going to film as much quick picks episodes as possible up until I believe we could put it around November. I think November is a good time to kind of stop. And then we will tally the winners of the quick picks, different episodes. Of course, quick picks, you can talk about everything. Hopefully we could get to a certain point where we have enough to tally a top 4, and that top 4 of the most quick picks winners will basically go at it in the December episode, an episode of our choosing. That being said, I do want to get into this draft board because it is a very stacked list. It's interesting to see what you guys prioritize. In this list, you got your My Hero Academia, you got your Gundams, you got your Full Metal, you got your Dragon Ball, you got your Digimon, you got your Hunter x Hunter, you got your Indie Rockets. And even more so, whatever's not there, of course, you can pick with your 5th pick, the wild card pick. That being said, first pick belongs to Peter. Peter, you were on the board. As a Knicks fan, you're used to this. Being in the lottery, you could get your Zion. Who's your Zion? Who's your number 1, man?
My number 1 pick. I think a lot of people expected this. I'm gonna have to go with Dragon Ball as number 1.
Oh, God damn! God damn! God damn!
What?
Yo, Ryan's like that's
Chris,
I'm last place. I knew. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan was like typical. Typical.
So Kaioken on your ass.
Pause. Wait,
So, I
wait,
mean,
wait.
yeah, so
Oh, boy.
Talk about it. Like, what made you? I mean, I know it is a consensus, but what is it? Why is it a consensus to you? Your number 1 pick.
Well, one, personal reasons. Dragon Ball was one of those first animes I watched with my dad. Like, we would actively make time in the afternoon to watch it together. And my dad always worked and whatnot. He never really had time. He always, like, when he came back from work, he would sleep. But like when Dragon Ball came on, he would take the time and watch it for me. So I have very fond memories from that. I guess also with my dad. At the time, my dad worked at PC Richards, so I was able to get most of the councils.
So while Peter's working on the connection issues, what are you guys' thoughts? Of course, with Dragon Ball Z.
I saw it coming. I'm not gonna lie. I had a feeling, but yeah, one of my all-time favorites. I was watching it since I was, as much as I can remember, since I was like 3 or 4. Just the GOAT in my eyes, honestly.
Chris, you're number 2. You're number 2 on the board. Dragon Ball, unfortunately, is gone. But since you've prepared for this, that means that you have some response to this, I'd imagine. What say you, man?
My first overall pick, I am going with Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
That's a good one.
It's a damn good
This one definitely, it got me back into anime. I definitely took a break, but it has made me fall in love with anime all over again. It's gotten me back into the newer shows. It is definitely the anime that's on top right now.
Ryan, you were feeling bad about it, man. How you feeling, man?
Bro, as we all know, I'm in last place, right?
Yeah.
So in my mind, there was a system of what was going to be taken first in my mind. But you know what? We're gonna bounce back.
So you do have back-to-back picks like after you have like
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I know. That's why I'm gonna terrorize y'all. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right. I was about to say. I didn't want you to feel some type of way, man. Tyler, you're
Oot,
up.
oot. Yeah.
You see Attack on Titan. Well, Dragon Ball Attack on Titan. Number 3, man. What say you?
There are many different places we can go with this one. I think I'm going to play it safe for right now and pick something that I know I love and I know a lot of people do love. I'm going with Naruto.
Ah,
I'm going with Naruto for damn sure. This Dragon Ball, we hear it all the time in wrestling. We hear it all the time in sports. It really is the granddaddy of them all. It started a lot of the modern shonen anime tropes. But I think for me, because I love it more than Naruto, but Naruto to me doesn't get enough credit for what it has accomplished in terms of one, changing a bit of the shonen dynamic, changing the pacing of shows where it starts off like a bit slow, but then it speeds up really quick to the point where like death matters. Once someone dies in Naruto, it's a dub. They don't really come back. They rarely come back. The introduction of tag team battles that people weren't really used to unless they saw a couple of other shows that are on this list that came a little bit before it. The introduction of a different trope using ninjas, which nowadays might seem a little bit tame, but at the time, these super powered humans and all this, yes, they're kind of super powered, but the actual use of martial arts being brought back after Dragon Ball went more into like the blast realm of like we're just doing beam struggles and all these weird, crazy teleportations and all this. And it also started the trend of a lot of the modern day shows like the My Heroes and the Black Clovers and the Seven Deadly Sins in terms of the newer big threes of anime. So I got to give Naruto all the credit in the world. I'm not a big fan of his son, but the OG. The OG definitely has.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Boruto's pretty. I mean, it's not the greatest.
It's got better, definitely.
I don't think it's bad, but I do think that similar to a lot of things in the modern era that are remade or continued, it feels like there's a little bit of genuineness taken out of it, and Boruto's starting to find it again. But at the beginning, it was just like, we had the last movie. We know you exist. We didn't need to see the rest of your life necessarily, but it's starting to get back there.
Ryan, let's get you in this, man. Last pick of the round, 4th pick is yours. You have back-to-back picks, of course. First pick of round 2, but your first one overall, what say you, brother?
This was a rocky ride. Getting to me. I'm gonna have to go with one of my favorite animes. I would say this would be my 3rd favorite anime. Gonna have to go with My Hero Academia.
Okay.
One.
Oh.
Yep.
You picked a rookie.
Of course.
That's one of the recent ones on the list. Okay.
Of course. My Hero Academia is definitely one of those shows where I saw a lot of growth from other animes that I really, really like fuck with. And I feel like My Hero Academia has potential of, with the story, like with beating some of my favorite animes, but we'll just have to see, So yeah, that's my first pick.
All right. So of course we have Dragon Ball, Attack on Titan, Naruto, My Hero Academia. Anybody want to add, sentiments on My Hero Academia before Ryan doubles up, gets his first pick of the second round?
I got one.
Go ahead.
It took Midoriya 2 seasons to realize he could kick.
Yo, son.
I love this fucking show. I really do. And I like the way they introduced that feature. But it took you how many broken fingers and body parts to realize I can transfer the power to my feet. He earned that shit. You can't tell me anything else.
Yes, sir.
I know I got cut off because internet connection is terrible, but like Dragon Ball is such a cultural phenomenon.
You're damn right.
Yeah, Goku was in the Thanksgiving parade.
Yep.
He was the ambassador for the Olympics. Lots of Western animations. If you know Kids Next Door, they made
Yep.
the Dragon
Yep.
Ball.
That was fire.
It's
Yep.
just so memorable, you know, like everybody knows about Dragon Ball. My niece, who's like 2, I think her first, if you damn well know her third word was Goku. I taught her that, but
Good job. Good
That's
job.
awesome.
or Kamehameha, either the two.
That's
So
what's up.
like, it's a good one. I think it's a really good one. I'm happy with my first pick.
Second round, Ryan is back to you. Of course, you picked My Hero Academia, but and you know, as Peter mentioned, is one of the young boys on this list. But you have an opportunity to double down. What you doubling down with, brother?
Well, with Attack on Titan being taken so quick, you know, I'm gonna have to go with another youngin.
Oh, don't do it.
I'm gonna have to go with Demon Slayer.
Don't. Oh, you did it. You did it. Oh man.
Probably
Some of
one
the
of
slickest animation in anime.
one of the greatest, newest animes in style, story. Is just so good. Its movie was amazing. Its new arc is getting fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I didn't watch the episode. I need to watch the episode.
Demon Slayer, man, it has potential of definitely being big 3. Definitely.
With
So,
deep breathing exercises, yes.
Deep breathing. The thing that really got me about Demon Slayer was the art style. Because the art style is very unorthodox compared to most anime. At first, when I watched like the first episode, I was like, why do they look like that? Like the art style was like a little off, but when you get into so art and animation is different. So art is basically kind of like the still frame. But with animation, when you put multiple frames together, Demon Slayer takes this really creative route. They take advantage of CGI. They take a very artistic approach when doing like their special attacks, right? And on top of that, the main 3 cats, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu, they're a very endearing trio. I haven't seen such an endearing main group of cast in anime for a while. So like those 3 are just, I don't know, Demon Slayers. I see why he took it this early on the ground.
You know, it's crazy because you can sit there and say like it's a well-deserved selection. There's still a lot of heavy hitters on there. Tyler, you are up next. This is your second pick of the second round.
I'm going to take a risk here because there's something I want to. I had 3 different options for my second choice, assuming I'd get this far, because I walked in not knowing what number I was going to draw here.
Yeah.
But you say a trio, I will raise you a quartet because I am picking one of the greatest animes of all time, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ooh.
Now, I pick Yu Yu Hakusho because Yu Yu Hakusho, for me, it came out, I think, in 92. So it was a little shy of Dragon Ball, but it's also one of the most influential animes in Shonen. Has one of the best tournament arcs in all of Shonen. The main event of Yusuke versus Toguro breaks everyone's heart every single time. The possible death of what was it?
Genkai?
Of Genkai.
Yeah.
One of the best casts for an anime of all time. When you look at how you actually care about a lot of different characters, which is something that later shows did get to as the 90s progressed. We mentioned Naruto earlier. It was one of the first to really do that after Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball, it did make you care about most of the characters, but after a while you realize it is Goku's time. And it would remain that way for pretty much to the modern day. In Yu Yu Hakusho, every character felt protected in the sense that you can tell if all these guys got into a fight, you wouldn't really know who's going to win at first. whether you had Hiei, whether you had Kuwabara, whether you had the incomparable Fox Demon, whether you had Yusuke going off, all had different separate powers. The way that they earned their power-ups and their abilities, the way that they progressed through, and each arc, each chapter of the show, no pun intended, considering the chapter Black arc, you could watch them all and enjoy them, and you could stop at any point and you feel fulfilled. It had one of the best English dubs of all time.
English dub was really good. Yeah.
Which was a hell of an achievement during that period, because a lot of the best English dubs we've had in anime have come in the modern era. You know, back then it was very hit or miss depending on what you watched. So for people who wanted to really dive into it culturally here in the West, it was an easy transition, great voice acting all around. And to me, I don't think it gets enough credit until someone mentions its name. Like usually when you see like the top list, the OG fans, the hardcore fans will say it, but the mainstream fans kind of forget about it. It's sort of like that one show that came on late at night in Toonami and you forget that it happened. But
I'm gonna interrupt right there because this one hits home for me. This was the first show that I remember on Adult Swim. And
yes,
the English dub got me in trouble because of the amount of cursing that went on. And I still watched this fucking show. I made sure the door was closed. I made sure no one was there.
He's
I
right now because of this show.
I had the last channel on under my thumb in case anyone walked by. But I was not missing this shit for anything. This was one of my favorites.
And that's another point in Yu Yu Hakusho's favor. A lot of shows were dubbed for kids growing up. They were dubbed in a way where it's like they would edit some of the blood out, or you wouldn't see all the explicit cursing you'd see if you later saw the subtitled version in Japanese. Yu Yu Hakusho didn't pull many punches. They made a lot of different jokes. They made a lot of different fights went on that probably couldn't be done today unless you had like a disclaimer. So to Yu Yu Hakusho's credit, it is a badass raw anime that literally just, you'd think it would come out in the modern day, but it was there during the prime of the original anime boom, and goddamn it, it done killed some people and inspired some other shows to come after it. So I got to give it to that.
Chris, you know, it spoke to your heart. Unfortunately, it's off the board, but as you mentioned before, you did have some backup plans. You had some heavy hitters, man. What is your selection, bro?
My selection for this round is going to be Death Note. It is definitely my all-time favorites. At one point, it was my password.
Don't admit that. You need to conserve some of your information now. You know what I'm saying?
It's no longer, but at one point it was. Kept me protected, kept me thinking like light Yagami. I felt safe behind that. But for sure, one of my favorites, one of the shorter animes on this list, but makes it a much more watchable anime. I've seen it at least 4 times. And we're not going to even mention the Netflix thing that they tried this past year. We're just going to.
Can we not mention any Netflix?
No, we're not going to mention any of the Netflix.
Can we put that in the disclaimer? Actually, don't use Netflix as a way to tarnish the legacy.
Netflix is banned from this podcast.
Thank you. No, they be doing that. They'd be like, that's what happened to Disney one. They'd be like, oh, I like Lion King, but the live action one. I was like, fuck the live. We're talking about the cartoon. Why are we even
watch?
Y'all being...
And I immediately had to watch Death Note actual because that's how bad the Netflix version. But we're not going to consider that.
Yeah.
Peter, you have the 4th selection. You have the 4th pick. What say you, man?
The 4th pick. All right. I'm gonna go with another generational anime. It also has a big cultural influence. I'm gonna go with Pokemon.
I knew it.
You got catch.
I don't know how it fell, low key, but
that's the one I was gonna pick because I was hoping no one would notice I was sneaking around there. God damn it.
Talk about it, Peter. Go ahead. Talk your stuff.
All right. So with Pokemon, it started out as a video game, got massively popular, and then the anime dropped. So everybody knows Ash Ketchum. Everybody knows Pikachu. Pikachu was with Goku at the Thanksgiving parade.
Facts.
God damn it. Goddamn right.
And like
Goddamn right.
looking at like I actually have I have a second monitor. So the first episode was aired in 1997. And now we're at 2021. Ash is still 10 years old. So obviously like this anime has made like a huge impact. It's still popular. Looking at one of the notable iterations that I like was Pokemon X and Y.
Oh yes,
Fairly recent one because
that was good.
it was really good because they stepped up the animation quality. Battles were very enjoyable. If you know classic Pokemon, when Butterfree left, I cried like a bitch. When Ash let go of his Pidgeotto, I cried like a bitch. Pidgeot, my bad. He never came back for the Pidgeot. Never came back. And on top of that, all the movies were memorable. Ash died maybe a handful of times. He's basically like Goku. He comes back to life once in a while. So
yeah, but there are no Dragon Balls. That he just get up. I don't understand how that actually works. Like, no, like dead ass. Like in the one of the first episodes, I think like Zapdos zaps his ass and kills him. And and we've been convinced that that's the reason why he's been 10 for like 20 something years. Like it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
for so many years.
On Creepypasta where that's the reason why the episode ends the same way. It's because he's coming off the drugs and he's blasting off again. But it's the same formula of new Pokemon being introduced and, you know, Team Rocket sneaking around in the back. And it's just the same formulaic going on. And that's why he remains 10 years old.
So when he finally wins a championship, does that mean that he's like you know he's not tolerant to them anymore? Like he doesn't get how does that work in the creepypasta? Because I remember 2 years ago it was trending on Twitter that Ash finally won a chip, and I had to remind myself that this show is like 20 something years old.
Everybody did. Everybody did.
I'm sorry.
I want to make
Wait, what happened, Ryan?
I'm sorry, but when he finally won that chip, I'm just mad it was in the Alola region. Like, what the fuck?
He literally did a Kamehameha wave. Please, like, I love it. He literally did a Kamehameha wave with Pikachu. You can't even deny that.
I want to give you credit for this pick, not just because it's an obvious one that should have been picked in the first round, but I also like the fact that this show has been parodied so many times to the point where, like, Ryan Reynolds was Pikachu.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
that is
and
hilarious.
It worked. Like it wasn't just
like where's the sequel? Or where's the live action Pokemon live action can actually work because of that.
And no, shut up. No, I almost died because of Pokemon Go. Fuck you. I don't want this.
Yeah, Pokemon
I don't want this.
And humans together. You would not get like an Ash Ketchum movie story.
It's animal slavery and dogfighting. What the hell do you mean you want a live action version of this show? What is wrong with you?
You gotta catch them all, man.
Did you not hear us complain about Netflix?
You gotta catch them.
Do it.
Second round, Demon Slayer, Yu Yu Hakusho, Death Note, and Pokemon. Peter, your picks are so far Dragon Ball, Pokemon. Chris, Attack on Titan, Death Note, Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto belongs to Tyler, and My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer are for Ryan. Peter, right back to you. Third round, pick number one. What say you, man?
Okay, so originally I wanted to pick a youngin with Demon Slayer, but that got taken very early, so I didn't expect that. But I'm gonna switch it up a bit. So I'm gonna go with a classic that recently got remastered or got reintroduced.
Oh, this
I'm
guy.
going with Digimon.
Oh
yeah.
I think it would have been. Is it the one that you expected, Ryan?
no.
Okay. Oh, I was about to say. All right. I'm not gonna let you. I'm gonna let you rock.
He picked Pokemon and Digimon. You just united the Bloods and the Crips, man. They don't know. They don't know about that when we were kids. Man. It was a 4-way battle between Pokemon, Digimon, what was it? Beyblade and Yu-Gi-Oh. It
Yu-
was legitimately
Yes.
it
Talk
was
about
clan
it.
warfare.
Talk about it, Peter.
Okay, so with Pokemon, it kind of kept consistency with Ash. So we knew what we were getting in. With Digimon, they always switched it up with every season. So we have Adventure 1, so we get the main cast, Ty, Matt, Sora, Izzy, Mimi, Kari, and Joe. They do the second season where they reintroduce the old characters. They add a new cast with David, Yoli. It got really interesting when it hit the third season with Digimon Tamers, where they made it more gritty with Takato. So I'm happy with Digimon. I think it's becoming more popular now, especially with the card game that came out, the Digimon card game. People love it. The video games are low-key sweepers. And I'm looking forward to the new season of Digimon that's coming out. I think this is a good pick for me.
Chris, you're up, man.
Yeah.
Back on tight. You got your death note. Where you going, man?
With this pick, I am going with Full Metal Alchemist.
What I have just heard with my own two ears. This is by far the biggest upset of the night.
God,
I'm getting all the angry. I'm getting the deep meaning. I'm getting the lifeful, the dark, the gritty, angry ones. I want it.
You have an anime type, don't you, Squidward?
You just want moms to die. That's all.
For real, son.
Yeah, bro.
I want the
Not
deep
even in
thinking
the
one.
word.
I'm so mad because just go. Fucking
Go
go.
ahead. Go
Oh
ahead,
my
Chris.
god.
That's funny. First episode for both too.
Yeah.
I want all the moms to die today. Chris.
I think this speaks for itself. Like Chris.
You are not a mother lover.
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Low key, I always wanted a tattoo from this show. I've been a
Yes.
fan for a while.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it all over again, and Brotherhood was even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in a very distinct class of animes like Hellsing and shit, where it's like the original version was already fire, and then they brought it back and finished it, and it was perfect. Like it was damn perfect. That's why I'm so pissed off right now, because that was about to be like my third or fourth, because I didn't think anyone was gonna touch it, but this motherfucker Chris was waiting in the background. He knew.
How do you
Damn
respond
good.
to this? How are you gonna respond to this, man? Talk to me, man.
How am I going to respond to this? Well, I just want to give some credit to Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood. That whole franchise is dope. Especially, it's one of the few shows that actually does the science versus religion part right.
Yes.
To the point where it's like borderline, you can't tell the difference between the two, because alchemy is usually used as like a way to be like, oh, there's no like miracles or magic or religion. It's like, no, it's all man-made, it's all scientific. And then they're also praying as they do like their hand motions and stuff, and even bring it up at the fighting God and shit over. Like this show is very good, but I need to respond back with something just as good.
Oh, here we go.
I had a backup plan for this if this ever happened, because Chris is the new Eric of this franchise. He has the Batman plan.
Yeah.
So I like that. I will pick something that I think most people know about. It is one of the most influential animes of all time, one of the greatest soundtracks to an anime that's ever existed. And to me, started a trend of animes that before we had Dragon Ball and Pokemon taking over Western culture, this show warmed a lot of people's hearts, and it actually served as a gateway anime. I'm going with Cowboy Bebop.
Perfect.
I'm going with Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, that's
Now, before you fans get on my case, because I know Netflix had a show that's not canon here. Cowboy Bebop, I feel like it's kind of like people have heard about it. Maybe they never watched it, but they've heard about it. Gateway anime, it didn't supposedly it didn't do as well in Japan as it was originally intended to, but when it came to America, it was very beloved. Most people remember it for it having a pretty dope story where every episode kind of like builds your relationship with the characters to the point where when we start to get to the later episodes and the backstory really kicks in, you see some of the most iconic moments in anime, whether it be Spike versus Vicious. The first episode tells you all you need to know about the show, the fact that we're in the future, you have people being born on Mars, you have these bounty hunters basically going around trying to make a living. and they end up biting off more than they can chew. Some of the most iconic character designs of all time. Spike Spiegel was like everyone's phone background for the longest time after a certain point, if you've watched the show. One of the best dubs, again, of all time for people who aren't big on subs. I don't mind either way, but it's one of, similar to Yu Yu Hakusho, it's one of those shows where it's like when you watched it for the first time, you didn't feel like you were watching something silly. You know what I mean? Like, I think anime gets a bad rap for constantly being silly or overly perverted or over this. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of shows that follow those tropes. But this show leaves you on the edge of your seat. It felt like an American show done in Japanese art style when you first watch it. Like, it felt like you were watching a long ass movie and you didn't mind that it was a long ass movie. And the soundtrack being like jazz inspired, and at times hip hop inspired, which would later lead to Samurai Champloo being completely hip hop inspired. It set a really good trend and a very good bar. And you can see the influence even in shows like the Boondocks, which are anime inspired, but have these crazy underground soundtracks and shit. I think it's one of the best animes of all time. It's my personal favorite. I was going to pick it later. The boy Chris done killed me, but I have to come back with the classic, man. I got to come back with Cowboy Bebop.
Your last pick on the board, 2 picks from now. So
Right.
like you got time, but the floor at this point in time is now to Ryan. Ryan, you have an opportunity to round out your list from the.
I'm gonna say this right now.
Go ahead, man.
That was an amazing pick. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna pick that. I'm not even mad because you were hitting all the notes, all the details. Goddamn. But
That is the only time you have ever cared for me, as long as we've known each other. That is the
We blood,
only
man. What the hell?
we are blood. We are blood. We didn't ask for this though.
that
Continue.
was because I'm not gonna lie, I was really gonna have that as my 4th pick. That was great.
Fuck you,
But
Ryan.
go.
No, I'm playing.
But my 3rd pick is gonna have to be a newer anime as well. There's a lot of love, hate in the community about this one. I don't know where it leads towards now, but I'm gonna have to pick Black Clover.
Oh wow.
Oh,
That's
you
a good
picked
one.
a really good rookie. Okay.
That's a really good show, actually.
I fucks with Black Clover, and I was so mad when I heard that it got canceled, but I heard that they're just on hiatus. So thank God that shit's coming back.
Better not be fucking canceled. I just finished it. It better not be fucking canceled.
Especially how they ended. Especially how they ended. Like, no, you can't end like that. That's a slap to the face.
That
with the
um,
manga?
no, the manga's still going. I think
Yeah,
it's
the
just
manga's still going. They just I heard that the anime was on hiatus because they caught up too fast. So
yeah, they were basically neck and neck for a while. It's actually funny because that big three, what was it? Dragon Ball started like the big three with like, what was it? One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, right?
Yeah.
And then the next big three that came in, the people considered was like My Hero Academia, Seven Deadly Sins, Black Clover, and then Demon Slayer snuck in there and made it a big 4. Black Clover kind of got overshadowed by My Hero Academia at first when they first came out.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's the better of the 2 shows, to be honest with you.
nah, definitely. The storytelling, like it's funny how and it also relates to like how great of a storytelling that they have like with the newer animes. Like Attack on Titan has to be damn near one of the best things ever written. Like that shit is fucking to the T. They pay attention to everything they've done or talked about in that fucking show. And I feel like Black Clover in some certain type of way they're doing the same thing as well. You know, to a certain extent. You know, like they always go back to something that they recalled before and they do a great job at recalling it. You're opening your eyes at what you didn't even realize was right in front of you until they bring it up, you know? So in that note of storytelling and new animes have really been doing a great job at that. So I had to pick Black Clover as number 3.
Your last pick on the board. You gotta do what it do, man. Last pick on the board. There's still some heavy hitters out there. What say you, Ryan?
I'm going to say this right now. There are a lot of heavy hitters on the board. There's a lot of heavy hitters on the board. But with me going the route I went with all the new boys, it's time to go back to a classic, something that helped create one of my all-time favorite animes, which would have been Naruto. I'm gonna have to go with an oldie that we all know and love, Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, really? You went there? Okay.
Oh, damn, he's offended. He's offended.
I had to go with Hunter.
Hunter. I mean, the Hunter x Hunter is good. I was expecting something else. The way
Oh shit, he was underwhelmed. Never mind.
Damn. Damn.
I'm not gonna lie. I
Oh, let him talk
I
his
mean-
shit. Oh,
I mean,
also
look,
thought
look,
you were gonna
look.
pick something else.
If there's no Killua, there's no Sasuke, there's no Uchiha clan, there's no Naruto, there's no My Hero, there's no Black Clover.
There was no Kurapika. There would have been no Sasuke, no Sharingan, none of that.
Okay.
No, that's right, Kurapika, my bad.
You also got freaking the formation of like fucking the pretty much the OG Akatsuki with the Phantom Troop. Know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Like there's just so many things that they had into it. They had their own tuning exams with the,
I like
with-
Orochimaru, Hisoka.
oh,
I like
that's-
how your list is literally 2010 to the present. Like basically all your picks are from the 2010s to now. Because they did the remake.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone watched the original Hunter x Hunter, but they
no,
did
I
the remake.
saw the original, yeah, the OG. But I'm just waiting for that new because they're saying that they're making a remake also to continue the ending of
Why?
Hunter x Hunter. So
Is the manga still on hiatus? It's been like on hiatus for like years, right?
it's definitely still in hiatus.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Tyler, you got to round out yourself from on this board. What say you, man?
Hunter x Hunter was one I was considering, along with Full Metal. I'm gonna be staring at Chris weird from now on. Still, that did hurt. I mean, this isn't a hard choice because I had this picked as my number 4 from the beginning. As unprepared as I was, I knew this wasn't gonna get picked at some point. It's kind of a shame because it's like literally the greatest, like it's the most successful anime in the history of Japan. Fucking One Piece.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody said anything.
It has one of the most original concepts I've ever heard in my fucking life. This is before Pirates of the Caribbean and all these other things that made you kind of have like, oh, pirates can be cool or they can make money. Like this guy just wants to be the king of the pirates, which in a lot of ways is kind of like a recurring theme among most shows. I want to be the Hokage. I want to be the Wizard King. I want to be the greatest superhero that ever lived. He's a fucking pirate. Like of all the things that you like these cool concepts, like ninjas and super powered martial artists, a pirate. And the fact that this show has gone on for so many years, I mean, when we were kids, I think we all kind of grew up on the 4Kids version where it had the rap intro. But when you start watching the original version, it's one of the most well-crafted shows ever. And it's kind of crazy how it's still going. All these, like, I think, what,
Very
1,000
emotional
episodes?
journey,
Yeah, they just hit 1,000 recently.
That's a kind of like most shows when they go on too long, you can feel it drag. This is one of those shows where it doesn't. You know, it feels like you can keep doing, and it's gone on so long. There are literally generations of people who grew up with different versions of Monkey D. Luffy. They grew up with different versions of these characters over the course of time, where it's like a family show at this point. Like you can get everyone invested into it. I always had a huge respect for One Piece. It also has one of the best anime memorabilia ever with Monkey D. Luffy's hat amongst the swords and everything that else that comes with it. I can't really do it justice with words, but there's a reason why it's one of the most popular animes of all time. It's one of the longest running of all time. It's one of the most iconic. And in recent years, it's somehow become underrated because people are so used to like the newer set of shows, like what Ryan's list is. That's not a shot. That's me being honest. Like people forget this is around. But when I saw on social media, it was trending when it hit episode, I think 1,000. And everyone, you just saw like people from all different groups coming together, like all different age groups going, this is amazing. I was there when this happened. Where was I when this happened? Like, I can't go wrong with this.
You know, it's kind of like that, the longevity aspect, and because we have those conversations, you and I, Ty, and like, you know, the rare moments like we could get you on Ryan, and like, you know, Reggie would come in and we would just chop it up, like, and the running gag is just, yo man, it's too damn long, bro. And it's almost like it's almost going back to like, because we did do the cartoon show episodes and things of that nature, and you can essentially sit there and say that, you know, One Piece is a 1-to-1 version of The Simpsons, where it's like, you know, because of its timelessness, you know, it's basically entered an era where it's given that respect, but it's like you want a one season of something. Like One Piece is one of those things that basically is a timeless thing that kind of goes off over time, and that's what The Simpsons ended up being, to the point of which when we did our episode with the Simpsons, it kind of carried over the same legacy. So it's
longevity with quality. That's the thing. Like, it's like you can, it's a very long show, but like you said, you can get lost in it and not care that it's a long show.
Yeah.
It's always there for you. It's like Hamburger Helper for some reason.
Chris.
Oh no.
Your last on the board. Oh no. He said it's about to get dark in this bitch.
Oh, Chris got daggers, bro. I don't know what is going on with him. With
I'm slaughtering
this one.
You got mommy issues.
Sticking with my theme here, it's a show that's actually coming back.
Yeah.
I am going with Bleach.
Yeah, sir.
Mommy issues.
Sweet cream on an ice cream sandwich. What in the blue hell are you doing?
Stop killing the milfs.
He's got daggers. He cuts deep and he makes you sad.
Milfs.
Look at this man.
So
Look at
that
this.
was the show that I thought Peter was talking about earlier.
This is your fault, Peter.
What?
You crushed his dream. You should have let him have Dragon Ball. Now he's making us all sad. That's fucking horrible.
You won't let me have Chi-Chi? Now all the moms are dead.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm afraid. Ain't you getting married? I'm afraid for the goddamn.
We're invited to his wedding.
What the heck? I'm afraid for your in-laws. Shit. Goddamn. Yo, Chris, what say you about Bleach? On the real.
Another show that I fell in love with on Adult Swim. Just one of those late night shows right before bed. Gets you right in the good mood. It's definitely dark, but still one of the best. And rightfully so. It is coming back later in October this year. Cannot wait.
Birthday season. That's what's up, man. Hey, listen, my dude. Bleach. I'm reading the list right now. Bleach, Full Metal, Death Note, Attack on Titan. I'm afraid for your in-laws, man. You see what I have to deal with, man. This dude smiling on the outside. I don't know what's on the inside, man.
I feel like Chris is about to get a big ass trench coat that goes to his feet.
That's a finesse. Leather, all leather. We ended off, of course, with Peter. Peter, this is your last pick on the board. After this pick, we can't touch the board. We gotta go off. We gotta go off kilter. We gotta go off the island. Staying on the island, staying on the board. What say you with the last pick of the fourth round?
I want to go with this one because it's also very influential. It does make it big. Everyone knows about it. I'm going with Yu-Gi-Oh.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, he has Pokemon, he has Digimon, he has Dragon Ball.
I've learned so much. I've learned so much about everybody. Chris is very angry and he's ready to stab you and hit you with everything that hurts your soul. He hates moms. Yeah. Peter took all of our anime toys as kids because that is what his list is basically. and what's your name? What you call Ryan? Wow. He doesn't. I at one point thought he hated children.
I love how they handled that, but like I don't. It felt.
And then think about
you don't
the
like
merchandise
children.
they sold
because of the song.
You don't like children. We're going back to the next person. Oh, that's me. On the
Well, another big generation anime. Different protagonists. So you got the original Yu-Gi-Oh series with the main crew: Yugi, Tristan, Taya, Joey, Tem. But we grew up with these characters as well. When I guess when Atem played the seal or Yucalcos, everyone shat their pants. Everyone remembers that moment. Right. And then they switched it up. So then we go to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and we get introduced to a new character named Jaden, right? Already a stark contrast from, the original character, Ryugi. Jaden's a lot more carefree. And then unfortunately he grows up and goes through a lot of depressing shit. If you watch the last season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, he merges with a demon. Very wild shit that happens. Then you got card game motorcycles, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
I love this shit. I love the fact
Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is a great anime. Like it's a great iteration of Yu-Gi-Oh! When you get past the motorcycles, it's dragons. Like it's so good. Like they took a lot. People die in Yu-Gi-Oh! People die over paper cards. So
attest to this. Tyler, you working at a school, I'm pretty sure you could attest to this. Kids be still having these shits to this day. Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I saw a kid the other day Beyblading, although it wasn't selected in this list. Like it is on the board. Like, all of these little things that, we basically held near and dear to our hearts when we were younger. I'm still looking at them. I'm like, this shit's still around? Word? You know what I mean? Like they're a little careless with it. I ain't gonna hold you. Like they'll be flying onto the street and they'll walk away like, yo, this premium shit. You keep all of this. But the fact that they even have it and the fact that they're even, pumping these out and basically holding it near and dear to their hearts is pretty cool. So hey, listen, Peter, I'm pretty sure, yourself and Ryan, you guys definitely have the kids' vote, the youngins' vote in form of collectibles and memorabilia and whatnot, respect. But fortunately, we have to go off the board. This is when we get, we put our thinking caps on and we get our real intellect, we get into the nitty gritty, we get the even more unique side of our fellow panelists here. Peter, you are the first one to get the first crack at it. Anything that is off the board, you can select your wild card pick. What say you, man?
So this is a guilty pleasure. You know me, Gene, and I'm a big fan of the shonen trope.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Kuroko no Basket.
Ooh. Kuroko no Basket, huh? Okay.
Yo, you pulled that up. Talk about it. Talk about Pete. Go ahead.
So it's basically Dragon Ball Z with basketball players.
I'm fucking weak.
When I first looked, because I'm not too familiar with the show, but from what I've watched and what I've seen, I'm like, of course, being a basketball fan, I'm like, yo, basketball, anime.
Put it together.
And you just like go in, you just like, yo, this is not like it's not what I expected, but I still love it. I still enjoy it. It's some crazy ass shit. And
yes.
Of course, like it's one of those things that like when you go into the content creators that we follow near and dear currently, like the aforementioned RDC worlds of the world, like the world of Long Beach Griffies, etc. You would see them basically like make reference to these things. So definitely props to your selection. You know what I mean? Chris, it's your time, man. Round out your list.
Who you gonna kill? Who's mom?
Who's gonna kill this time, man?
This is a newer anime. Has the most fire intro that I've seen in a long time. I'm going with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay. His grandpa died though. Fuck you.
You know what? I thought I was safe once. I thought there was no but no, you're right. On some Uncle Ben type of shit, his grandpa did die.
Oh my god. So, hey,
literally, you picked the most bloody animes where people get like mangled up and shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
He's not even lying.
You hurt his feelings, and you took his childhood from him. You took his dragon. You took his Dragon Balls.
you took you took his Pokemon cards, you took his Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you took his Digimon stuff,
Mhm.
and you took the whole 2000s. What the fuck you mean? Yeah, he's gonna come back killing people. My God.
Well, you know what, Ty, wrap this up, man. What say you, man?
So I got to pick something off the list.
Yeah, man.
Something so that people don't know what it could be. They don't have an idea. What's a good anime? Because my list has been very like, it's been a lot of like iconic ones. So
I almost took something that you had mentioned before.
Oh, go right ahead. I'd like to hear this.
Samurai Champloo.
You motherfucker. Right. That's gonna be my pick now. No, I'm playing. I'm not gonna pick that. I'm not gonna do it. Actually, I'm gonna pick something. This is a show that some people might remember from the 90s. So this is something y'all could probably like look up and research because it is a pretty influential show. The name of the show is Rurouni Kenshin. Some people might know it. Some people might know it as Samurai X because the franchise. So Samurai X, the original OVA is considered the greatest original video animation in Japanese anime history because it was the voice acting was phenomenal. It's very gory, so Chris would like this. It basically this one samurai that was tasked to fight for the army, he becomes the most brutal samurai of all time, killing so many different people during the war. And he goes to such a far extent with his talent that he actually decides that he never wants to fight again. So he withdraws his blade. He adopts a reverse blade sword, which can't cut anybody, can't hurt anybody. Well, it can hurt people. He definitely cripples some people in the show, but he can't kill anymore. And he becomes a wandering samurai, hence the title Rurouni Kenshin. And it starts off with the OVA, which shows him in his prime, murdering everything. And then there's eventually an anime series, which some of us may have grew up on, where you get introduced to the Samurai Kenshin Himura during his modern adventures. He was a teenager when he did this. So imagine like the most psychotic teenager story you could think of on the news, except in the middle of a war. Like this guy was a machine in his teen years. And now he's like 28 years old. He's removed from that period. He wants to live a life of peace. He's just going around. He ends up meeting a family, basically like a kendo dojo, where he meets up with this family, helps try to rebring back the Kamiya Kashin style of fighting, and also fights off some of the old war generals that knew him from the war. And he's trying to bring peace back to Japan. One of the reasons why this show is very influential is because of its art style, which was heavily adopted into shows like later Naruto and Inuyasha, which was also on the list. I wish I could have picked that. But one of the other most influential parts of this show, because it's also coming back, like Bleach, another samurai, essentially, it's also coming back. But the main reason why I picked it is because it is the direct influence of one of the most iconic anime characters of all time for my list, because Kenshin is actually the inspiration for Kakashi Sensei in Naruto.
I was about to say, like, there's parallels, a lot of parallels. Yeah.
Because he can be very silly at times, even though he can murder everyone on the field in no time. So if you want to watch shows that are preludes to some of your favorites, Samurai X, Rurouni Kenshin, that shit. Prelude to Naruto, Inuyasha, and everything in between.
Wait, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Chris, you should have picked Parasite. The mom dies in that one.
I'm thinking he's looking into it at this point. Like he's looking at you.
I literally Googled animes where the mom dies, and Parasite was a podcast.
I know you did. Because you extra like that.
Yo, Ryan, man. Wrap up this round, man. What say you, brother?
All right, so we're gonna end it off with one of my favorite anime intros for anime to watch. I'm gonna have to go with Tokyo Ghoul.
Ooh, okay.
That's a controversial one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, nah, that second season was trash, but
yeah, it was
but that first and third season, yeah.
That whole franchise is due for a reboot, actually.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
there's a lot they could redo with that one.
That anime taught me never to go out with random girls. Don't put your dick in crazy.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
It took
First
that show.
That's what I taught you? What?
First episode, man.
Not to avoid dark alleys, not to avoid coffee shops and shit like that. Just that. I'll give Ryan credit. Every Tokyo Ghoul intro from all the shows are beautiful.
Yeah.
They are very good. So just watch the intro and then go back to your regular program.
Facts, yo.
Just download the songs. It's the same thing.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I think that's what I feel about Black Clover. Like Black Clover got some fire intros also.
I have literal Black Clover songs on my phone. I'm dead serious. Them shits are actually good.
Yeah.
That's how it happens, man. So to wrap up the wild card, Kirko's No Basket, Jitsu Kaisen, Samurai X, Tokyo Ghoul. I want to talk to you guys about the stuff that were not picked. You guys talked about Inuyasha. We could go. Let's see, Sailor Moon. We got Sailor Moon. We got Lupin III. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Got Beyblade. Got Berserk. Got Castlevania.
I thought we were gonna do one more round.
Me too.
I thought I was gonna do One Punch Man afterwards.
So the thing is, and this is why, I like to do the final round, for the first 4 rounds, basically being on the board and one off of it, is just to see what not only is what would be selected, but what is more prioritized. And it's in, that's why it makes for conversation, and at the end of the day, this is all made for conversation. Not everything could be picked is what is essentially why the list was made the way it is. So what made you guys prioritize certain picks over another? Like, let's say was a thing, like you mentioned, One Punch Man was thought of, maybe an Inuyasha or a Sonic X even. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think there's been a big enough break from One Punch Man where it's just not really it's one of the newer ones, but it's just been delayed so long that, and it's more of the lighthearted ones than more serious anime. But it's just not in terms of life lessons or personal feelings for my choices. I think that's where it sort of dips for me.
Okay.
I actually because I wasn't really prepared for the final wild card round. I was actually going to pick, if we were doing 5 picks, I was gonna pick Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
The reason why is because a lot of these, all these they're very male dominated, right?
Yep.
These are everything that us boys grow up with, but we gotta show love to the girls sometimes, right? So Sailor Moon was one of those big mainstream animes that went for the ladies. Every magical girl animes are one of the biggest genres, and everybody knows about Sailor Moon, right? Literally, I think my sister watched it and she didn't even know it was an anime, and she was like, "I'm watching the same weep shit as you." I'm like, "Yeah."
We didn't know Pokemon was either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, a lot of those early 2000 shows, we didn't.
Yeah.
And also, I also found the idea. The mangaka who does Sailor Moon is married to the mangaka who does Yu Yu Hakusho. So it's a lot of history behind Sailor Moon, and I wanted to have that as my fifth pick.
What are some of the other shouts out to the undrafted from the board?
The two that come to my mind right away were Inuyasha and Sonic X, because Inuyasha, I have a weird relationship with Inuyasha. I don't know if anyone else went through this. Did you ever just wake up early in the morning before school and put Cartoon Network on?
Yes. Yes. My story is, this was my first anime and I didn't pick it. I don't know how, but it happened. Anime that I knew was an anime, and we're not talking about Pokemon here.
Yeah.
I was sick in the middle of the night, throwing up like crazy, and then my parents put on some random cartoons for me, and it was Inuyasha. And they were like, all right, whatever, watch this. Feel better. And from that on, I was like addicted completely.
Yes.
And to the point where I was like, okay, I gotta set my alarm. I don't know what the fuck show that was, but I gotta watch it again. God damn, that was good. And I would never make it. I would always fall right back to sleep. And then like years later, obviously I binged it. But
the show was so good. Like when I was younger, I didn't know it had a continuation either because I would watch in the morning. This was like when like you had like George Lopez on at Nickelodeon in the morning before like the eyewitness news and all this other shit.
Like a 5 a.m.
Right. And like watching Inuyasha at like 5, 6 in the morning was awesome because I didn't know Toonami went that long, one, or Adult Swim for that matter. But when I watched it, it was such a good show. And it was for a while catered more towards the girls because it was really more Kagome that was the main character than Inuyasha. Inuyasha was more the muscle, and they treated him very much like a delinquent. But I enjoyed that show. It was one of the first isekai shows because that's a very popular trope in anime now, going to another world, this and that, like her going back to like feudal Japan. You know, it was a really good show. And the continuation of it with the final act was also very good. I think it wrapped up pretty well. They have a continuation of it now, Yashashime, where Inuyasha's kids and what do you call it? Shishomaru's kids are active. So now there are more half demons around and quarter demons, which is pretty cool. So for those who didn't get to see that, you can see that. Sonic X was another one because that's the one that's close to my heart. I know it's close to JJ's heart because it was the first attempt since the video games to tell Sonic's story in a way where it was like easily accessible for people because some people didn't play the games. So when the show came out, it didn't do that well in Japan, but in America it did fairly well in continuation with the other Sonic shows that came before it. And I think it's like the defining Sonic cartoon for most people. Like if you didn't see like the Jaleel White Sonic X was what you, and those were considered animes too, I believe. So this
Sonic
was like
and, the original Sonic,
yeah. So this was like the third act of it. You got to see proper representations of most of the characters, especially ones that got did dirty in the later decades, like Knuckles and Shadow. Amy with the mallet's always hilarious. Tails trying to figure things out. It was a pretty well done show. I'll never forget like that Dark Sonic transformation they had where he basically gave us a prelude to Sonic Unleashed, him being a werewolf, but he wasn't, where he just went completely midnight blue and was ready to kill everybody and everything. So those two shows definitely stood out to me. I mean, Beyblade was right there, like I said, with Digimon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! It was, I knew if you had Beyblades, you were a reckless child because you did not care for your fingers or anyone else's health. Back then, not everybody had those
made of metal back then.
Yes, they were made of metal.
That's worth a lot of money now.
But it was a smart concept because, like, what Yu-Gi-Oh with playing cards, Pokemon with pets and playing cards and video games, Digimon kind of had the same concept. They took a spinning top, a classic toy, and turned it into a battle weapon. You used to have like all the little like what do you call it, like the battlefield like ramp things, and you could like have the little battle, like you could have the battles in the. When I was a kid, we didn't have that. We used like actual plastic bowls and shit and just let them spin in the bowls. But you could play outside with these things. You could have them go all across the schoolyard if you had a schoolyard or in your backyard and stuff. So those are the ones that I wanted to pick. I think the reason why we didn't pick them is because like how many people actually like remember it the way that like if I'm putting Attack on Titan next to Beyblade, we would be able to respect both, right? Yeah. But is a 12-year-old going to know both necessarily, or are they going to look at their version of Beyblade and be like, this isn't as epic as Attack on Titan versus like our version, which still isn't as epic, but you get the idea, you know, like it's like, what faith do you have in the audience that they're going to remember that? Because there's a lot of good shows on this list. Like there's fucking Voltron on this list. There's Gundam on this list, right? There's Neon Genesis. These are like all-time classics, but I don't think everybody remembers it. It's the problem.
I think with us in regards to like, you know, the selections, it's that instinctual thing of trying to figure out what the viewer wants the most. Because like when that episode came out, she got most of her votes off of like the fact that like, yo, this is a representation element and stuff of that nature. For us, it's kind of like instinctively like our peers at the end of the day. It's like what our peers will be interested in. And a lot of our peers could be, you know, from commercial anime fans like myself or like even deeper. You know what I mean? So
I'm worried for Peter's list, actually. I'm worried for Peter. His list is fire off rip. No, here's the reason why. Because you brought up the kids. You know how many times I've walked into work with like a Goku shirt on, and they're like,
That's what
"Oh,
I'm saying.
Goku!" Like they're like, "Goku's stupid."
Nah, bro,
And I'm
what
like,
you talking about? They still got Pokemon cards, bro.
no, you're right, but I'm saying like there are gonna be some people that are unfair to like Peter's list and maybe more fair to Ryan's because of that recency bias. You know, like some people don't fuck with Goku the way that they should, and they want to go to like Midoriya or something. Or some people may, for some reason, be sadistic and want to write everybody's name down and kill them, like Chris's list. You know, like they.
That's why that.
Wait, if that happens, I think you
all the
do
lists,
it.
I
Real
think-
shit though. Real shit though. If you're writing names on lists, real shit though.
Like Chris's list, low key, is gonna get people out of the fear. Like if they don't select,
Yo,
to their families.
You are literally Joe.
Chris
Fuck
gonna-
you, Chris.
Chris. So the cool thing about this also, I was incorporating this later on when we were doing quick picks. At the end of the like regular voting, so the peers outside of us, each one of the panelists, you guys will vote on who else's list is the best one that will basically, and it has swayed votes before. I remember seeing, Ryan would be number one, he dropped to number 3. I've seen Tyler go from number 3 to number 1, back to number 2. I've seen Randy go from 2 to 1. I've seen, et cetera, et cetera. So it's pretty cool that way. But also to limit as much of, shenanigan as possible. I'm not saying that there is shenanigan, but in the event that there is shenanigan, I'm gonna basically put out the lists, similar to what I usually do, like the first couple of days, it's gonna be basically that, people go and watch the video, and from there they're gonna vote in the comments section. But then when it comes, maybe it's a day or two beforehand, we're gonna put the list of the things, not who the list belong to, but the lists itself down. They will vote team 1, team 3, team 4, etc. And they will vote to see who wins. But to rattle off, to finish it off, I'm gonna just list it. Peter, your list: Dragon Ball, first round. Second round, you got Pokemon. Third round, you had Digimon. Fourth round, Yu-Gi-Oh! And your wild card is Kirko. You got Chris, Attack on Titan. You got Death Note. You got Full Metal. You got Bleach. There's a whole bunch of death. And then he just like, Jujutsu Kaisen. It's still death. It's still death, but with a twist.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Tyler, Naruto. Yu Yu Hakusho. Cowboy Bebop. One Piece. Samurai X. And Ryan, My Hero Academia. Demon Slayer. Black Clover. Hunter x Hunter. And Tokyo Ghoul. Guys, it's been fantastic. I hope to get this out as soon as possible. And yeah, for the viewers, please vote. Who did it best? Ryan, Tyler, Chris, Peter. They drafted. You vote. We'll find out who wins. Otherwise, take care.